And it's time for us to take a look at some of our Alaska news for this Wednesday. It is June 21st, 2017. Another fatal bear attack in Alaska, the second in 2 days, also by a black bear. It's very unusual. Generally, they're saying that since 1880, there have only been a handful of black bear attacks compared to the brown bear attacks. Generally speaking, to have two in just a couple of days is really weird. The second attack happened down by Pogo Mine, which is by Delta Junction. Two people were out in the field together. Both were injured. One was killed. The other one managed to get away with non-life-threatening injuries. The Alaska Supreme Court heard arguments yesterday in the PFD lawsuit. This is where Senator Bill Wielikowski basically saying that Governor Walker was out of line to veto the money for the PFD because that's not what the people who wrote the law in the first place intended. And it's been going on for, almost 30 years. With the money gets approved by the legislature, it gets sent out to the people. Anyway, a lower court judge had thrown it out, saying, hey, he's the governor, he can do what he wants. Wielikowski appealed to the Supreme Court, and they heard arguments yesterday. Now, if they decide in favor of Wielikowski and restoring the permanent fund dividends, it's going to throw everything out of whack because right now all parties in Juneau are eyeing the permanent fund as the way to pay for state government. If the Supreme Court says, no, that money is supposed to go directly to the people, it's going to just completely blow everything out of the water. A family is being sought in connection to an Ohio massacre, a family that they believe relocated to Alaska. So they've got the pictures and the names of these four members of the Wagner family, and they're looking for. New smoke pollution rules in Fairbanks are going to make it harder to ignore burn bans. But here's the beautiful part about this is this goes for everybody, whether you have a clean stove or not. If they issue a burn ban, you will not be allowed to burn unless you have an express permission to do so. In order to get that permission, you have to prove that your stove is approved by them. You have to prove that your wood is dry. You have to prove that you know how to burn it. It's not just enough that, oh, look, the stuff coming out of my chimney isn't dark and black and smoky. You now have to have their permission before you'll be able to burn, which is exactly what some of us were saying we're going to come all along. The Coast Guard medevaced an injured crew member down on the Shelikof Strait vicinity. They got a call that a fellow had a broken ankle, and they figured that they were going to need a surgeon, so they took him off the boat. One man rescued, another man missing after a canoe capsized on Valley Lake. These guys were wearing the self-inflatable PFDs, and they didn't inflate. And the older man went under the water and didn't come back up. He was in his 60s. They haven't found him yet. The younger man, his son, 30 years old, was rescued by a passing boater, but he had hypothermia. Once again, Alaska, what kills you in terms of the drowning, it doesn't matter how much you can swim, whatever, it's the cold water, and you're just going to go into shock and likely swallow a bunch of water if you fall in. The Fairbanks City Council has approved offering $20,000 in transfer bonuses to anybody who's already gone through Police Academy and wants to transfer up to Fairbanks. And there's that man who was shot by police Monday morning, apparently has been identified as a 21-year-old from Northway. The reports were that somebody had called the police around 3 a.m. saying there was a man wearing a mask with a long gun behind Denny's. When they came to search for him, he was gone, but then they got another report that there was a man with a mask with a long gun behind the Fairbanks Correctional Center, so they set up a perimeter. And when he saw them, he got out of his car and apparently started shooting. They shot back and killed him right there at the scene. More news than we have time for in a little video like this. If you want more, I've got 30 to 40 minutes that I send out every single day to my paid subscribers. In fact, let me tell you, today's is exactly 45 minutes, 29 seconds worth of news. And if you are a subscriber, you would have gotten that at 5 a.m. this morning in your inbox. Find out more at radiofreespeech.com. Last story. Well, everybody's concerned about bears. Apparently, you also need to be concerned about clowns. On Sunday night, Anchorage police got a report of a man in a clown suit chasing people on a bike trail. They came, investigated, ended up arresting him. He had a warrant out for something totally unrelated. But I think that dressing up as a creepy clown and chasing people is probably an arrestable offense, don't you? That's what we got for our news. You got a tip for me? Send me an email, steve@radiofreespeech.com.